Hello and welcome back to the OCS. I'm your host, Bryce Paul. Once again, this is Max. This is our desk. This is our TV that we cast the games on. It's been a great time so far. Halfway through the day. Next, a game. It's going to be Chief Academy versus UQ Union.
Yes, going to be two games, which I'd almost argue each of these teams have been kind of underperforming a bit, at least from what I expected at the start. Yeah, Chiefs Academy, they're 4-2, so they are winning a lot, but like with their roster, I almost felt like they would be, you know, up there with the likes of the Dire Cubs and Mammoth.
Yeah, I think also in terms of like the teams they've lost to, they've lost to Legacy and they've lost to Mammoth. So they have lost to good teams. But certainly, like if you're kind of like contending for the top spots in the league, like you have to be able to beat the other guys that are up there with you.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully for them, maybe they're thinking this might be a bit of a rebound game after coming off with a tough loss last week. UQU, after their initial win, they've struggled.
Yes, certainly have, and like I feel like not a lot to say about the team overall, right? This has been a fairly consistent roster. I believe they've played a couple of games with different support. Kimchi is going to be in here once again here today, but have a bunch of like individual players that at times have shown some promise. Like Riot, first couple of weeks, Aurelia was just a big thing. Candyman when he gets his hands on the Sejuani in the jungle, stuff like that. But definitely struggling to pick up the wins so far, sitting at a single win, 1-5, and definitely want to start heading on upwards towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, at least for UQ Union, their one win was against their rival in QUT. So
your bragging rights?
Yeah, if nothing else, they still have those bragging rights to hold on to. But I imagine if they were to get a win over a team like Chiefs Academy, that would also be huge for them as well. So definitely something to play for. Also, similar to what the situation is with UTS coming into this one, like you don't want to fall below that 5-game loss situation. You want to be, you know, above 500 when top 6 teams go to playoffs. So it's do or die for UQ.
Yeah, certainly the case. And you kind of mentioned it, like in terms of like beating Chiefs would be like a confidence boost and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of preparing for stage games, like people very quickly slot themselves into where they should go in the ladder. When like it's like and it kind of like you do play towards where you kind of see yourself. I just said a bunch of garbage, but basically what I'm saying is a lot of times when you're in like a tough matchup, like you look at Chief Academy versus UQU and it's like, oh guys, this is a tough match to lose. You kind of go, oh, like we can lose this one, it's okay. Chiefs are a good team, and you start playing not to lose rather than to win, stuff like that. So certainly mentality coming into this one can be super important. And want to be seeing the Union boys punching up in this regard. Nightfall is a guy on that lineup who I feel like has had a couple of good games, but going up against one of the best top laners in the league in TN. Fairly rough ask here today.
It will be a tougher ask for him, like especially because last week he did struggle a bit. But again, this might be the kind of team, the kind of matchup where he should be able to turn it around. Going back to your point you were making, though, about like teams that might be lower on the ladder who come into things like trying to play to win. That's something that I really give a lot of credit actually to Order Academy for, because they are like a more bottom team, but they still don't play afraid, and that's kind of why their games have been closer and perhaps a bit more exciting. UQ Union, on the other hand, when I think of them, unfortunately, I think back to that game where they had that huge lead and then didn't do anything with it and just lost. I believe that was actually to Order. And it's just the different mindsets, I guess, one coming back to bite UQ Union. So I want to see UQ take a page out of Order's book and come into this one ready to fight. Yeah,
on the other side of the coin as well, Chiefs reclaiming their long-lost jungler in Alani, coming back from a competitive ruling, I believe. So is rejoining the lineup, and they are now back at full strength, rather. Mintcam was the substitute for a little bit of time for a couple of weeks. But in the first couple of weeks, when I think Chiefs did look their most dominant, when they looked like they were performing their best, a lot of their strengths did come from Alani. There was a couple of Kindred games, I believe, where he absolutely popped the hell off. This is not going to be one of them. We do have a Sejuani first pick here, so a different style, but certainly a strong jungler nonetheless.
I mean, it definitely shows how much the Chiefs think of Alani when they still give him that first priority pick on the Sejuani. So they're picking their jungler first.
Is it like an insult or is it a respect thing? Like you come back and it's like, yeah, first pick Sejuani, bro, good luck.
It could be a little bit of in-house hazing.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe this is repentance after he's served his time. It's a bit of double jeopardy. That could be it.
The response out of UQ Union will be the Sivir. I think we've seen every Sivir so far this game be first picked on the red side. Like, when red side has gone Sivir, it's always been first picked. I find that interesting.
Okay. Kayn into Sejuani. Very good matchup. Kayn wants tanky members in the game for him to be able to kind of latch onto later, and he gets a huge amount of healing off. Sejuani makes himself an easy jungle matchup as well. But this is like Aatrox open, Sylas open, Akali open, and everybody kind of just leaving them to the wayside. Lux is going to see a bunch more priority here for Nausicaa. Interesting draft so far. Yumi's still up as well.
Yeah, Yumi might actually get locked in for Yumi, and a Sivir Yumi lane seems pretty, like, fast.
Yep.
That's my first thought.
Super
Zoom,
strong.
zoom.
Super strong.
Curious what has been going on in some of these scrims to see such a priority of Lux in all of these games so far.
She's also kind of just new, but I feel like the best matchup is something like a Nautilus. But Union in this game, they're looking at this and being like, okay, we have a Sivir. Like, do we want to like attack the Lux, or do we just want to play something that's like kind of better than Lux, maybe, right? Like you do similar-ish sort of stuff in a little bit of a different way, but they think priority on Yumi is just like a little bit better than Lux, so they're just going to happily take it. They don't want to take the hard counter. As you mentioned, yes, it's interesting to kind of see, normally as you track in towards the end of a season, you can see like scrim pools sort of associate where like this group of teams don't prioritize this pick. This group of teams clearly play against each other because like you see Lux priority kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's definitely funny. Lucian and Jace being banned away. Those are two names I don't think we've said at all yet today, but they will be taken away from Chiefs Academy. Sylas, a bit more action has been going on this champion, so not surprised to see that one banned. And the last ban will be that Aatrox.
Yeah, Chiefs kind of sticking to the meta much more here, banning away the Sylas, banning away the Aatrox, given that they've already locked in the Camille, banning away a couple of the flexible top laners that are still up for the grabbing. Akali is still there if Union want to take it. Chiefs Academy could as well if they choose to put it in the mid lane once again, but...
Yeah, Akali, LeBlanc is also still available. Poppy is the current hover, so strong champion.
Okay. Interesting. It is, of course, going to be the blind Camille, so in terms of tanks that can deal with that one, Steadfast Presence in Poppy's W certainly feels good, and she's probably the tank that deals best with like rough matchups. It's either her or Naught in certain cases, but that's just a straight-up Sona. We've seen a lot of red side bans. This time it gets through, and Nausicaa takes that one for himself.
Yeah, so that will mean also we're going to be seeing Lux in the mid lane
yeah.
for the first time today. Obviously, we won't be seeing the Amuma right now, but Blitzcrank, I like that response into Sona.
Well, they already have a Yumi.
True, so it's
so
not going to be
that. Baited by the old hover there.
I avoided the Amumu bait, but then I fell for the Blitzcrank.
Immediately fell off a cliff. That is going to be it. Syndra into Lux, though. Old school mage matchup, and a bunch of old school champions kind of rising back into the meta. Sona versus Yumi on the bottom side. Yumi was kind of touted on release as a worse Sona, and then after the hot fix, a better Sona. So we'll see what the truth is here today.
Yeah, I definitely matchup for sure, those ones. I'm more curious about this mid lane matchup actually with the Lux versus the Syndra, just because we haven't seen Lux mid lane really yet in OCS, I don't believe. So this is the first time that's coming out there. Beats, once again, playing a new champion. I might be wrong in this one, but I'm pretty sure he's played like a new champion almost every week so far.
Yeah, if not, like if he hasn't, like he'd be close to, right? He's played a fairly wide amount of that sort of stuff. I expect, at least just straight up looking at the summoners, right? You can tell exactly what is going to happen. Riot wants to have the priority early. He has the Ignite, want to start looking for those kills, and probably should have the priority, at least in the early game with the Kayn, on his side, whereas Beats has the barrier. He wants just to play standard, safe, back. They have a healing and shielding comp with the Sona Lux combination, and potentially allowing TN to kind of play towards the side lanes much more in this Camille.
That said, though, post level 6, I do feel as if Riot might have to be a bit careful because of the change CC that can come out of Alani and Beats.
Yeah.
As with the damage as well, like that's a dangerous situation.
And you can see already, I was talking about the Ignite, he actually swapped that one out after Champ Select counted down. Gone for the cleanse, so kind of paid the price there for the Sejuani. Single CC landing, as you mentioned, means another one will be there to follow. It's not the time you want to see. This is Nightfall. Is he going to face check the bush? If he walks any further...
Oh, Tien's actually still going to go for it. Gets the stun right now, but that might have been a bit too early, or maybe not. This should at least be a flash. Nightfaller will, you have to expel it to get away.
Okay, so flash, trade. I say trade, flash for free there, Chiefs. Very nicely played. Obviously, another one of these teams doing the level 1 preparations and get an advantage for it. Not a kill this time. We have seen a bunch of level 1 kills today, especially last game, but Nightfall are starting off what is probably already a difficult matchup, putting it on hard mode.
What is your take on that pig?
The skin?
Yeah.
What is the other skin? There's one that looks kind of better. It makes it kind of look like a cow. I mean, no, like a cloud. Because this is the Lunar Revel one. He's actually matching with Nausicaa. I like that. Matching skins is PogChamp.
It is, but like that pig is nightmare fuel. I do not like the pig. I've never actually really been a fan of most of Sejuani's mounts, except for the Poro.
Yeah, okay. What is the other, like, super light colored pig that it isn't the Poro skin? It must be like the winter one, the Arctic Russian pig.
Yeah, okay, that one is okay. I will give you that. I like white. Maybe it's just I want more of like the white colored mounts with Sejuani. Or maybe it's just I don't like pigs. I think it's more the latter.
Yeah, potentially.
Unless it's bacon.
It's interesting start to this lane. Kimchi spotted out the bush behind him with the prowling rocket there, sitting on top of his AD carry and farmer. Fairly hard sort of matchup, I think, at least early from the Yuumi. I say that as he gets a very nice trade, but it's hard to abuse your passive in this matchup, because anytime you auto-attack a Sona, you're going to cop a Q power chord to the face you expect. But certainly, if you can do all the damage with your Qs time and time again, feels very nice to start this one off.
Would the power chord follow through if you're able to jump back onto your ADC mid-animation, though?
Yes, I believe it does.
Okay.
If something is traveling, like, to you, like a targeted skill, whether it's like... Yeah, power chord is probably the best example. I think it does hit no matter if you land onto your AD carry before that point or afterwards. Yeah.
I'm a little relieved that's the case, because otherwise this lane would 100% be advantage of that Yuumi Sivir.
Otherwise, it's like the easiest get out of jail free card for anything, right? Like CC hits you, like, because the thing is you're still targetable until you've like hit the champion, like you've attached, right? So you can still be CC'd as you're dashing to the champion. Ali combo can kind of cancel out that one. You can get Morg binded, stuff like that. Alani, though, looking for Nightfaller, is flashless.
Is flashless, but the steadfast presence connects onto both.
Yep.
Nightfaller gets away with one.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Rift. Just phase tanks a Poppy W that was already there. Candyman looking for an engage. Beats finds the stun, though.
Yeah, connects with that. Candyman already taking quite low. Won't find much, but on the top side, there's still more action. Nightfaller falling victim to the return gank. First blood.
Yeah, first time was not the charm. Able to come back, and the return gank is going to be there. Very difficult situation for Nightfaller there. Jungler shows in mid lane. His wave is just slowly pushing into Tien, and he wasn't able to farm that one. If at all there, so tries to push it in himself, gets punished with a return gank. Very nicely played from the Chiefs top side. Did cost them a flash, but flash for kill, especially for first blood, is certainly a price you want to pay.
It's also good to see the Chiefs sort of level 1 interaction come back into their favor later on. We know burning that flash was not for nothing. They do turn that into a kill, so Chiefs early game tempo going their way.
And also, like, game plan wise, this is the lane you want to hit on for Chiefs. If Beats can just go even in mid lane, if Kai'Sa Sona could just scale up as best as possible, then you're very happy throwing all of your jungle attention towards the top side to get your Camille ahead. Once this game tracks on into mid game, he's going to be a big proponent of making progress in the game for Chiefs. If he's not being able to win out in skirmishes and fights in the side lane, then certainly will struggle to break open the map. But an early kill, an early flash advantage is certainly the way to start this one off.
Early teleport advantage as well going to be going to the Chiefs. Nightfaller obviously doesn't want to fall too far behind in that experience. As a result, though, when Tien does back, and if he's able to teleport back into the lane, we're going to see a huge item disparity going Camille's way. Looking to engage right now. Steadfast Presence will buy some time, but Nightfaller does step forward. That's a lot of minions. I'm not sure he wants to extend this trade. Tien trying to get something, unfortunately, does not get knocked under the tower.
Yeah, very close to a turret shot being the difference there. That could have been a solo kill for Nightfaller if Tien slightly misplayed, but it's not going to be the case. Knows his limits and gets knocked back just outside of the cone there. You can see as well with the jungle attention that was in the mid lane, Riot has built himself a little bit of a CS lead. Only 10 so far, but certainly at 5 minutes, that is significant.
It is, and that's exactly what UQU wanted in that matchup. Riot is supposed to have the priority, supposed to have that CS lead. So far, going his way. I'm curious to see when Candyman might try to work with Riot and possibly look for a kill, either on Beach or possibly on Alani. The other thing I'm very impressed with right now is Kimchi's harass on this Yuumi has been on point.
As soon as you can force them out of the wave, it's one of these lanes where Yuumi Sivir, kind of like, against the Yuumi, you want to play in the wave as the opponent, and then against the Sivir, you want to play out of the wave, because otherwise you're just getting ricocheted, you're getting an auto attack for free. And lanes that can kind of split their style of poke, I'll call it, I guess, certainly can be very annoying to deal with, because both of your options, it's like, what is the lesser of the two evils? And it seems like right now the lesser of the two is just getting whacked in the face by Kimchi's Q time and time again. This is a gank brewing in the top side, potentially a dive, but level 6 hit will be hit here from the Poppy, and certainly isn't the case for Alani, so not willing to opt in for a full HP top laner dive.
That said, junglers are actually going to meet right now around the Raptor cap. Riot unable to rotate quick enough, though, so it will be a nice escape out of Alani.
Yeah.
It's pretty... Things have slowed down. Like, I know, all right, 1 kill within the first 5 minutes isn't typically what you would associate with a slow game, but after what we've seen from our past couple, it's like, wow, this game feels a bit more conventional.
Yeah, there hasn't been 7 skirmishes by the 3-minute mark. I want to touch on the Kayn real quick. Of course, does have the Conqueror, so we'll be going into the red Kayn. Blue Smite is the pickup here for him, but what Kayn really does, especially in a matchup like this, is once he gets any sort of advantage...
Riot's actually going to look for an all-in potentially. Candyman was there. Decides not to go for it this time around, as Ultimate was held on to. Beats, good job. Did have to use Flash, so perhaps we might be seeing a return gank similar to what we saw in the top lane or what we're seeing right now. Tien shoving Nightfaller in. Bot side of the map should also be worth noting that Farmer and Kimchi are able to get some blading down, so really that harass that we touched upon before, starting to almost escalate a bit for UQ on the bot side of the map.
Yeah, getting something for it. I'm going to take that one down, but I was going to say, like, Candyman will get to a point where he'll just start hard farming. And he's going to start farming infinitely quicker than the Sejuani. Once you get towards the jungle item completed, you get towards your boots and you just move around the map ever so quickly. You can see CS leads was in his favor just before, but once you kind of get towards the mid game, if he has the freedom to do what he wants to do, then the deficit can kind of explode out of nowhere.
Pings going down. It appears as if UQU is looking to prioritize that Cloud Drake this time around. Meanwhile, continuing, yeah, Riot just building more and more advantages in the mid lane, and with Candyman sort of roaming up there, it's not going to spotted by vision. Beats might be in a bit of trouble. It's the flash engage, connects with the Scatter of the Weak. Where is that ultimate? Candyman is still so far behind. Beats might be able to walk out of this. Has to dodge the next stun. The ult doesn't bring the Lux down.
Doesn't get value out of the barrier, but does buy his life with the binding there. Hits onto Kayn very quickly. Tien wants a piece of Nightfaller right now. Sejuani is in the flank, but
yeah,
Kayn in the river.
Sejuani's in the flank, but he will be later to respond. Candyman, once again, trying to get there. They know that Beats won't be able to react, but Nightfaller walks right into the Glacial Prison, and that damage is going the complete other way. Good snipe from Beats to get a kill.
Very easy cleanup from the Lux. Snipes him from downtown to pick up a kill for himself. Got a steal on that one. Away from the top laner, but very nice pickup there. Blue buff is going to get started up here by Alani. Hand that one up to his mid laner, and as we look elsewhere, we always track down to the bottom lane, and it's just time and time again. Kimchi lane of the queue. Health bars, kind of the W button from Nausicaa just being spammed off cooldown here. Stacking up the tier as quickly as possible, but
they might
the turret is a little worse for wear.
They might get their third plating. Not this wave, maybe the next wave they will get it. And kudos to you to use bot lane, and they do get it. Okay, so this bot lane without really any jungle pressure, they've gotten the vision out of Candyman, yes. They've just been really taking it to the Chiefs Academy, and it's kind of what's keeping UQU in this game right now.
Yeah, certainly the case. Top side not going in their favor. Kill for Camille, kill for the Lux, despite there being a CS lead, but yeah, straight up a 2v2, getting 3 plates is not something you see very often, right? It's normally like a jungler ganks down there, you get 2 plates before a reset, and then you start getting those discrepancies, but this is really just a straight up 2 versus 2. The QQ combo of Siva and the Yuumi putting in work. We've seen it with Ezreal Yuumi rather as well. They do seem to be the best users of the new champion, but Alani still looking to play around top side. We said it before, Chiefs want to be up here playing around Tien, and they're looking at the Rift Herald. Uncontested.
It should definitely be secured by the Chiefs, just based on how well Tien has been playing. Nightfaller can't really step up in lane to contest it, and without that help from the top lane, really no point for UQU to try and stop something. That said, though, bot side of the map, as soon as Herald goes down, here comes the fight. Flash forced out of Spacer, but he still will be rooted in place. That damage is huge, and a kill for UQU.
Yeah, Sona being topside opens the gates towards the bottom of the map, and UQU, they take advantage here. This could just be the turret going down. Chiefs, they want to answer topside with the Rift Herald, but I don't think it's going to be quick enough.
Yeah, it's a bit of a race going on right now. I'm curious to see what's happening top, but it does look as if UQU will be bringing down this tower because Nightfaller's there to defend. Yeah, it won't be happening on the top side. First tower goes to the Union.
Yeah, Poppy didn't have active the ultimate there, so the Poppy Copter wasn't able to bash away Rift Herald, but he certainly did buy some time with the turret. Tien's found him.
Tien's found the ultimate, but Poppy, nope, won't be able to return in kind. Good Glacial Prison from Alani.
Throws it into the wall. The hammer goes into nowhere. Another plate will be picked up. This first brick broken much earlier than the 14-minute mark. UQU, of course, they break it down significantly quicker. Top turret isn't even dead yet from the Chiefs, so they get access to the Dragon, they get access to the resets all before Chiefs have taken down their turret.
Yeah, so the Chiefs a little bit behind despite being up in kills. Actually, Union almost controlling the tempo of this game better thanks again to that bot side dominance. Finally, the top tower will be answered with help from Alani. So with that, towers are about the same. It's been Dragon for Rift Herald, kills in favor of the Chiefs, and really then you look towards that mid lane CS.
Yeah, and it is like, that is the big discrepancy, right? This is turning into one of those games where top side for Chiefs is very strong, bottom side for UQU is very strong, and it's just about being able to leverage your advantage better than the opponents. I'd say tier stacking up for the Sona. Nausicaa kind of went for the greedy late game Sona build and tried to kind of get away with it. Sivayumi is certainly an impressive lane to do that into and paid the price so far, but 0-3 start to the game for the Poppy is definitely not where Nightfaller wants to be. So respectively, these teams trying to shore up their weaknesses somewhat. Alani with a fairly interesting build there, has 17 Ruby Crystals to try and build towards his Warmogs.
You need 20, is it? 20 Ruby Crystals?
Yeah, I think that's the magic number. 21 maybe.
2021, so we'll get there eventually. Just a few more camps to farm.
He's filled the guild bank with Ruby Crystals.
If you had to pick one, like just to have, like, I don't know, at home to put on a mantle, would you go for the Ruby or the Sapphire Crystal?
I think Ruby. I feel like blue crystals are kind of like the basic bitch crystals, for lack of a better word. I didn't know if I was going to say it or not, but hell yeah. Yeah, and red ones, mildly cooler. Also, the blue crystals in League of Legends, they look smaller.
True. And they cost less.
Yeah, they're objectively worse.
Yeah, they cost less. Like, if you want to show off your wealth and power, you want a giant glowing red kiss crystal.
Yeah, that turns into an even bigger giant glowing red flaming crystal.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
It is. I mean, don't touch it. You'll burn yourself, but...
Yeah.
You know, look, don't touch. Meanwhile, back into relevancy on Summoner's Rift right now. It has been a bit of a map swap. Nightfaller has opted to go to the bot lane. Tien was following. Smart defensive play from Nightfaller. He's not going to step forward into a gank, but that does lead to a bit of an invade actually happening on the Chiefs. And that does mean Kennyman might need to be a bit careful. Spotted on the ward, everything's fine.
And I actually think this is a mistake on the part of UQ Union. If you take a look at the map, it was Syndra catching topside, and once again, this isn't an Aurelia, it isn't an Akali, it isn't a side lane, like a mid laner that wants to be in the side lane. And because Candyman is like, yeah, I'm going to clean my bot side jungle, there's absolutely no one up there that can help, and now you have Riot farming with Farmer in the mid lane, and they're sharing XP. And if Candyman just deploys towards top side of the map, he starts invading top side jungle, but all of a sudden Beats has to play under his inner turret, and UQU, they can keep pressuring forwards, do exactly what Chiefs did on their strong side of the map, but kind of flipped. But because he was like, no, I want to clean my Gromp, I want to clear my Wolves, then Chiefs, despite being kind of behind in the deploy right now, I think, they're losing the mid-priority battle. They got to walk in bottom side. They got some vision for Tien in the side lane around the enemy blue buff. They got their own blue buff, which they definitely shouldn't have access to. So opportunities here kind of opened up from UQU, allowing Chiefs to get somewhat back into this game.
It is. I mean, Chiefs, it's still very close. Definitely looking at the gold at this stage.
Oh, bottom lane though.
Yeah, bottom lane could be a bit of an action. I don't know if Candyman really wants to opt into this 1v1. That's a bit of a risky situation, but with a teleport coming through, this could be the opportunity. Tien stays maybe a little bit too long. Candyman does not get the knock up, and with Alani there, Chiefs survive.
And once again, it's only a single kill on the Kayn. I don't think he's got the upgrade as of yet, so nowhere near his first item, sitting on the Mercs and the red smite.
Riot looking for that solo kill, is not able to sidestep the ultimate out of Beats, but Beats still feels the need to flash. Trying to run for his life. Will the Scatter of the Weak get this done? A nice little flash play, but it's not enough to secure the kill. Here comes Farmer and Yuumi, and Beats will go down.
Yeah, Farmer cleans up the kill. Very nicely played from Riot. The cleanse, the flash, the summoners were there to dodge out from the CC, and yes, they look for something bot side, can't quite find it, but on the other side of the map, hits the mark.
Mid lane as well, actually. Candyman, again, trying to find a way in. Ultimate being used by Kimchi, doesn't really connect with anyone. As a result, they can't continue to pressure this tower.
Differing ideas from the jungler and support there. Kimchi obviously wanted the play, opens book and looks for the stun, just as Candyman kind of walks away from that one.
bit of a reset right now. This actually might go in UQ's favor.
Oh.
Unable to stop the reset, but really this could be a free wave that they could use to get a lot of tower damage down. Teleport has to be burned.
Spacer is able to defend his mid lane turret. If that Q landed from Yumi, that was a dead Sona. Farmer just runs it there, pops the spell shield. The Crescendo wouldn't have been able to buy any sort of space if it hits a spell shield, so certainly kill opportunity, but very timely recall there from Nausicaa. Another Air Dragon is going to be on the cards here for Alani.
It will be, and I don't believe UQU is in position to possibly contest it. You do have Candyman sort of waiting in the wings. He's not on vision, but he's not going to commit, or if he does, it will be far too late. Easily secured by the Chiefs.
So they equalize the Dragons, one apiece, and gold lead is within 100 gold, and that's not something you see.
Alani,
oh, here we go.
Alani's already chunked so low, and Ultimate's coming down, and it's not going to be enough to save this Sejuani. Candyman should be able to run it down.
Yeah.
Up in the river, however, the teams are still squaring off. Tien has that flank on the top side, but UQU reacts and forced him away.
Yeah, very nicely played from UQ Union. Yes, they don't want the Dragon. They give that one over, but they find the fight they need. Candyman gets into the backline, ultis into Sejuani, and Farmer able to spell shield Crescendo, just as I was saying, gets the extra bit of damage that was necessary. Binding does land, Nightfaller pops a chunk.
Fall damage is there, but UQU wants to turn it around.
Oh.
They get the root and kill onto this Sona and Chiefs. They're starting to get caught out.
Yeah, one by one, kind of falling to the wayside there. Lucidity tier build from the Sona. If you're getting picked on, you die immediately. Probably got less than 1,000 health even 18 minutes into the game, so incredibly squishy there. And as you mentioned, yeah, a couple of picks ending up in the hands of UQ Union. They're finding what they need, opening up the map ever so slowly, and Gold League creeping into their favor.
Do you think Candyman is going to spot that control ward right now, right above him?
Does he base in the bush?
Oh.
Nah, I think he's going to recall on the spot.
Yeah.
Ah, he recalled on the spot. God damn it.
There's been a lot of these sort of cheeky control wards being placed right now that are surviving for way longer than they have any right to.
Like, the decision to check that bush is something you have to very actively teach yourself to do. Like, that is, like, genuinely the next level discipline in League of Legends, to check the bush that you're next to, because it costs 1 second, and maybe 1 in 250 games, maybe 1 in 1,000 games is actually a ward in that bush, right? So it's very easy to learn things when you get punished by them constantly. That's kind of why, I mean, for a bigger discussion, why like OCS teams go international and struggle, right? Because you go to boot camp and you just learn so much by just getting shit on by Korean teams for a week, right? More so than you learn in like an entire split of domestic play and stuff like that. So it's very easy to develop bad habits when you don't get punished for them constantly.
Isn't that like the constant like reason why people sometimes doubt like the top seeded teams out of EU and NA is because like, well, they're never losing because they don't know how to play from behind.
It's why it's hard to be a big fish in a small pond. And as soon as you play another big fish, the game goes one-sided very quickly because you're just like not used to losing, like you're used to playing with a gold lead, you're used to all of these things going a particular way. As soon as you do get challenged, or you kind of have all these habits that work normally, but all of a sudden you're getting punished and you didn't know it was a mistake until you get to that point. It's something that's very difficult to kind of come across, and yeah, it was almost inconsequential. The Pink Ward has now been replaced. Didn't really do anything. All it did was spot a recall from Candyman, but
I think it also actually
is important.
I think it did spot Kimchi as well, going to the top side when he didn't make himself revealed. So maybe a little bit of vision, I suppose. That said, though, bring up to your point, I definitely do agree that kind of seems to be what happened, especially to the Bombers this MSI, when they looked super dominant for mostly of the OPL split, and then kind of went boom a little bit. They did get a couple good wins, so yay Bombers, but I think it will only lead to improvement for OPL moving forward.
Yeah. I'm hesitant to comment on the Bombers at MSI. I've been in their position, and I mean, it's actually a part of a much longer conversation, and I don't think now is the time.
Okay.
Because I think OCS, for like TLDR, OCS has generally overperformed given like circumstances. Given how isolated the region is. Hold that thought, this is a stun.
Beats is in a fair bit of trouble right now. Candyman's going to follow up, and with the ultimate should secure the kill. Alani showing up a little bit too late and might be in trouble himself right now. Has the stun, is going to try to turn it around.
TP.
Yeah, there's TPs coming in, and as well as reinforcements coming out for UQ, but they're not going to continue to engage. It doesn't matter, Alani wants this fight. Candyman goes down, shutdown going to TN.
Yeah, trade the pick back and forth there. Candyman falls down, shut down. as you mentioned, goes to TN, exactly the member you want to be picking up this gold now. Hitting his 2-item spikes in the side lane, looking for Farmer.
Oh, Farmer's spell shield has been popped, and
nice
Almstay's in trouble. A great ultimate out of this Sona, and that should be 2 more kills going Chiefs' way. Flash is not going to be enough to save Nightfaller, or is it? The Puppy so low. Spacer has to flash to get the double kill.
Spacer cleans up the back end of the kill. I think TN actually queued a creep there. Unfortunate mistake on the hands of the Camille, but Chiefs find themselves with 3 picks. Surprised they didn't go towards the Baron, and they're just looking for this mid lane turret.
Yeah, Riot and Kimchi trying to turn things around right now, but in a 2v4 situation, they have to be careful. They don't overcommit on this chase. Dragon will be the target. It is an Infernal Drake, and Chiefs definitely want that.
And that'll be the answer, right? Didn't go towards Baron because they want this Dragon. 2-item spikes completed for the 80 carry for top laner, and an Infernal only makes it better.
Candyman just walked straight into everyone and will go down. He brought poor Yuumi with him, so Kimchi has to jump to Riot to escape.
Binding landed onto Riot just at the start of that play as well from Beats, so almost 2 picks is on the cards there from Chiefs, but that was just walking from top to bottom lane, pick after pick. They answer the play from UQU, get themselves an Infernal Dragon, and gold lead now in their hands. They swing that one back and forth in Infernal Dragon. 1.5 lead.
Yeah, good situation. We're seeing the Pinks actually starting to move towards that Baron pit as well. So you know the Chiefs are going to be looking to sort of snowball this momentum, maybe secure that Baron, and that could lead to possibly busting UQU's base open. That's stepping a few steps ahead, but
yeah, it's a while away.
Hey, if it's something that I think we were talking about a bit before, though, we wanted to see more of these teams sort of go objective, 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 objective. So yeah, that's a ways away, but if they get Baron, realistically, it should be 3-4 minutes away.
Yeah, potentially. We will see. You can see UQU certainly have their eyes on Baron. They kind of walk towards top side, have a bunch of vision to place down. Chiefs looking in for the later reset, given that they did go for the Dragon. So you expect the contest to be coming. Candyman now eventually has the transform. I didn't see exactly what the timer was. Certainly was significantly late, I think. Only had 1 kill part during the early game, during the lane phase. Was sitting at 1-0-0. And only a single melee lane to gank outside of his jungle matchup in the Sejuani, so much harder to get towards that upgrade.
Especially when that melee lane as well was definitely not going in
UQU's you weren't ganking for the Poppy into the Camille this game. That was not the play.
So, that said, we are now, you know, Chiefs getting a bit of control around that Baron pit, but they're not going to look for the fight, at least just yet. Not with the bot lane pushing in UQU's favor. Already you can see Tien is sort of responding, making the way down there.
And you can see TP advantage there for Nightfaller. Actually hugely impactful right now for Union. If the TP was there from Tien, you can expect that he wouldn't be catching under his inner turret right now. He would be hitting the enemy under the inner turret. Nightfaller would kind of be glued to the side lane, losing out slowly, getting chunked and chunked. You saw Tien earlier when he was breaking the outer turret, kind of utilizing the Camille shield to like hit him underneath the turret, hits him with a little bit of true damage, and kind of like play on the precipice of that damage range. And eventually that does kind of whittle you down, but given that he's about 2.5 minutes off his TP timing, means that Chief setting up for Baron is a bit of a harder task.
It will be. I definitely have to give credit to Tien and how he's turned it around from last week. Good binding. Actually, Candyman's taking quite low. Spacer using that ultimate, and this could be a huge fight for the Chiefs. Alani in that choke point, just taking so much damage. They don't get a pick, but they force UQU away.
Yeah, a couple of CCs land from each other, and binding starts it off. But here's the play, Nightfaller.
Look at Tien, though. He's got the flank, and he's in the back line. Health bar's just getting obliterated out of UQU. Farmer goes down, and Solani picking up that kill, but Spacer on the opposite side just doing his job and just taking UQ member after UQ member down. Alani in trouble, though. Riot's trying to turn it around. It's a double kill for the Syndra. The next target will be Beats, and Spacer doesn't hit with the binding, and down goes Beats. A triple for Riot.
And the Red Cane heals up so much at the back end of that fight. Yuumi dashing between everyone, and Riot slams it home. Triple kill now, 5-0 on the Syndra. Yeah, they have the damage. Yeah, they have a tank. Do they want to start up the Baron? It looks to be the reset on the cards here for Union, but you saw Tien go flying into the backside. Unfortunately, stopwatch a little bit too late, and he falls down. And as soon as Tien, he dies at the back of that fight, the Chiefs team fight just crumbles.
Yeah, you definitely thought there was a chance for the Chiefs really to take that fight just because of how quickly he was able to take down Farmer, and with Spacer just being able to sit nearly untouched. But Candyman did a great job in disrupting, I feel, the Chiefs just enough in order to really enable Riot to start just popping people left, right, center.
And Nightfaller made it to the fight first, right? It was the large flank from Tien, whereas the TP was used for the Poppy to get in. And yes, he's 1-5. Yes, he got into the backline and he just died before really doing anything, but he bought so much time. If Poppy can go into the backline and waste just as much time as the Camille, then he's done his job. Then you just ended up trading 1-for-1 despite being significantly behind there, and allows the rest of his team to be able to clean up the front line. And a Camille CC dies much quicker than a Poppy. That's exactly what we saw. Union now using that to get vision around the Baron, looking to set this one up.
I think win or lose at this stage, UQ Union definitely has to be happy with the improvement their team has shown today.
100%.
Especially considering last week, like, I'm really impressed with how Union has been playing this match, especially considering how top lane initially went. They were able to react accordingly in both the bot and mid lane. Some of it might have to do perhaps with winning lane matchups and playing around that, and I still want to see how they try to close this game out. But bit of action in the mid lane. Alani and Spacer trying to buy time, but Union might be looking for the dive. They're at least going to get the tower.
Yeah, Camille is just alone in the side lane, and Nightfaller has no TP, so UQU are kind of having to commit to a play here. Eventually they will lose turrets, eventually they will lose an inhib to the Camille if they don't do something, and you can see the call immediately is straight towards Baron. Infernal Dragon is up on the other side, and Chiefs, do they want to contest? Do they want to opt for a trade with the inhib? Choices to be made.
They're not reacting at all just yet. Now they're starting to realize, I believe, that Baron may have been started. But Tien's like, sweet, I will take that inhib. Baron, though, might be getting quite low. We are seeing the Chiefs trying to contest it. Baron at half. Glacial Prison's gone down. It did connect onto Farmer, but it's not enough to get a kill or force engage. Candyman getting destroyed by this Baron, and that is what pushes them off. Beach actually takes down the jungler. The Chiefs, meanwhile, have a back door going on because Spacer has been able to teleport into the enemy base. Down goes one Nexus turret as the teleports and the backs are trying to be delayed. The second Nexus tower goes down. No one from UQU is there, and it appears the backdoor will work and the Chiefs will win this one.
They don't even need the help of the Baron. Stop the bases. The call is split. And yeah, you can see backs against the wall there are UQU. Just as we were singing their praises. So much improvement from this squad here today. They have the pressure, they have the TP disadvantage, they go up mid, they have to go towards the Baron, and Chiefs very creative there. Win the team fight, force them back, a single kill, but a TP to the Nexus.
Is UQU the most snake-bitten team at this stage? Because I feel a lot of their losses have been like sort of close or something kind of bizarre happening, or they're going up against teams right when they get their full roster back.
Yeah, potentially. A little bit unlucky on that one because it honestly looked fairly good, right? They had the advantage, the Kane into the Sejuani. This was a team that came in, I think, fairly prepared. I wouldn't expect and didn't expect Chiefs with Alani back on the roster to go towards first pick Sejuani. But as soon as that happened and it kind of like folded out the draft as it played, they looked fairly comfortable. They got the Sivir, they got the Yuumi, obviously prepared strategy. They like that sort of comp. They got the Kane immediately into Sejuani, but single mistake there. Turns the tides of that one. Tien had an advantage very early and kind of ran away with it.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to be the battle between which side comes first, UQU's bot side or the Chiefs top side. And in the end, it was the Chiefs top side playing on the bot side. Yeah,
just whacking away all alone in the bottom lane on the inhib, but that was Chiefs picking up yet another victory in the OCS. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this 3-minute break.